Tai Lopez, once YouTube's original guru, is now being sued by the SEC for allegedly running a $112 million Ponzi scheme. For 24 years, Tai Lopez perfected the art of grift. From dating scams to fake self-help courses to building a retail empire that collapsed into fraud, this is the story of how one of the internet's most famous gurus fooled everyone until the SEC finally stepped in. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back to the beginning. Tai Lopez came on the scene back in 2001. For a fake guru to last 24 years, that takes some serious stability. Most of these guys burn out fast. Lopez's first move? He bought a nightclub. And by all accounts, he was a decent nightclub owner. Given Lopez's social personality, he thrived in that environment. But after 7 years, he wanted more. So he launched Elite Global Dating, LLC, in his first official venture. It was a niche dating site designed for what Lopez called high-value individuals. If you were a girl, are you hot? If you were a guy, are you rich? That was the criteria. But it doesn't take a genius to see why a site like this might have problems. Dating apps already attract a ton of fake profiles, especially back in 2007 and 2008. Unlike other competitors, Lopez's site was free to sign up and set up a profile. You only had to pay if someone messaged you, which basically guaranteed that you'd always get a message because Tai and his team set up bot accounts that would auto-send generic interest messages. Users thought someone was into them, but once they replied, they had to subscribe. And that subscription was almost impossible to cancel. Thousands got billed month after month without realizing. Many reported they couldn't stop the charges. Complaints about scam profiles flooded the site.
I first blew up on media in 2007, Millionaire Matchmaker. 100 million people watched my episode. It was the most repeated one. My MySpace went to 1 million of the beautiful women in the world is to DM me.
When confronted about the complaints, Tai brushed them off, saying his site had fewer issues than bigger platforms like Match or eHarmony. But of course, those platforms had millions of users and had been around for decades. His was brand new and already under fire. Today, it's nearly impossible to find information about these sites. Lopez went to great lengths to scrub them from the internet, which makes sense. If they were real successes, why erase them?
I don't even remember. My brain doesn't quite work that way. I feel like I don't remember the past that much. I kind of move forward, you know?
That became a pattern. Whenever one of Tai's programs flopped or got blasted with criticism, he'd delete everything, pretend it never happened, and move on. After stepping back for a while, he re-emerged in 2013, this time as a full-time self-help guru. He built his brand through motivational quotes, book recommendations, and lifestyle shots, designed to make you feel like you weren't living up to your potential. Then, in 2014, he launched his signature product, the 67 Steps. Priced at, you guessed it, $67. It promised the guide to the good life, with 50+ hours of online videos, but in reality, it was a walking contradiction. CoffeeZilla reviewed it years ago and found it shallow, contradictory, and full of recycled motivational fluff.
The whole course is reheated self-help. Tai Lopez speed read the Barnes & Noble self-help section and put it into 50 hours of content. 50 hours of him just telling little stories about Grandpa Joel Salatin or whatever.
In fact, Tai even misspelled success in his own course material. Despite the criticism, Lopez's big breakthrough came in 2015 with a TEDx talk, Why I Read a Book a Day.
People say, how do you read a book a day? Sometimes I take a week. But sometimes books only have 1 or 2 things that are worth reading. In fact, most books only have that. So I flip through the pages 1 time. I like to go through 3 times. See yourself like a gold miner, just looking for that one nugget, then put it back on the shelf.
But it was nonsense. He admitted he didn't actually read a book a day, he skimmed them for nuggets. It was epistemic arrogance, claiming you could possess knowledge without actually doing the work to understand it. But it worked as marketing. He made viewers feel behind, and he had the product to help them catch up. And then came the ad that made him infamous. The video went viral, parodies spread, his subscriber count exploded. The 67 steps reportedly made him over $50 million. With millions of followers paying $67, it was plausible, but most of that money went straight back into ads. The Lamborghini video itself was an ad funnel, not organic success.
Ethan?
All right, I
got
believe
the
you,
next
dude.
one.
I believe you.
No, we didn't let this go. This one has this is the DMV registration, and it has my name, Maz Group, or Tai Lopez.
Where? Or
Right
Tai
there.
Lopez?
Or my full name is Taino.
What's LSC?
I'm not sure.
Why would they write that?
Oh, because lease. That means it's a lease. There you go.
The centerpiece of Ty's pitch wasn't owned at all. It was leased. Just another staged prop in an advertisement designed to sell the dream. Still, the hype carried him forward. In 2017, Ty launched SMMA, Social Media Marketing Agency. The pitch? Learn Facebook ads, start your own agency, make $10,000 a month. Since he went viral with social media, who better to teach it? But the reality was different. Unless you had serious ad spend or a pre-built audience, it was no cakewalk, yet the deceptive marketing made people believe it was easy. When crypto exploded in late 2017, Lopez launched the Bitcoin Crypto Academy, $500 to $1,000. He had no background in crypto, but he knew how to sell courses. He outsourced the teaching, slapped his name on it, and sold. Again, riding the wave, cashing in, moving on. By 2018, he pivoted to the Knowledge Society. It was pitched as Netflix for the good life, a $9.99 a month subscription where members gained access to courses, certifications, and a hub of online education. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it's the exact same model we now see with Luke Belmar's Capital Club and Andrew Tate's Hustlers University. The difference? Ty thought of it years earlier. He was one of the first to package an online community around the good life concept long before Belmar or Tate. And if you've seen the videos we did on Luke and Tate, you'll recognize the playbook instantly. Reviews of the Knowledge Society were split. Some said there was value. Others argued it was just another funnel designed to upsell higher ticket programs. But whether good or bad, Lopez was clearly laying the blueprint for the kind of online subscription cults we see everywhere today. By this point, Tai Lopez was the textbook definition of a grifter, jumping from trend to trend, selling the dream, scrubbing failures, and repeating.
Retail e-commerce Ventures is announcing the completed acquisition of distressed sports brand Modell's. This is the third major retailer, along with Pier 1 and Dress Barn, that the new venture has scooped up in the last 8 months.
In 2019, Lopez partnered with Alex Murr, co-founder of the dating site Zoosk, to launch Retail E-commerce Ventures, better known as Rev. Their business model was simple on paper: buy failing retail brands, shut down the physical stores, and relaunch them as e-commerce businesses. They bought up names like Tuesday Morning, Bodybuilding.com, Pier 1, Radio Shack, Dress Barn, Steinmart, Linens and Things, Modals, Sporting Goods, Ralph and Russo, and more. To fund this empire, Lopez and Mayer ran ads targeting accredited investors.
If you're an accredited investor, I have something I think you're going to want to listen to. I consider it big news.
Hundreds of investors poured in. Rev raised over $230 million total, with $112 million of that now flagged as fraudulent securities by the SEC. They promised insane returns, up to 25% annualized on unsecured notes, monthly dividends of 1.5 to 2% for equity investors. Tai even claimed that you could invest $300,000 and earn $60,000 a year in payments. That's a 20% yield, a number no legitimate investor could guarantee. On Zoom calls and in offering materials, Lopez told investors the brands were cash flow strong and that Rev never missed a single payment. But behind the scenes, the financials told a very different story. Dress Barn, losses of $13.7 million in 2020 and $10.7 million in 2022. Steinmart, losses of $1.7 million and $5.7 million over the same years. Across the portfolio, monthly net losses ranged from $3.8 million to $12 million. The SEC complaint states,
While some of the Rev retail brands generated revenue, none generated any profits. Consequently, in order to pay interest, dividends, and maturing note payments, defendants resorted to using a combination of loans from outside lenders, merchant cash advances, money raised from new and existing investors, and transfers from other portfolio companies to cover obligations.
this is where the Ponzi mechanics came in. Funds were shifted constantly between accounts. Example, on February the 4th, 2022, $1.41 million was moved out of Radio Shack's account and into Rev's central account. That same day, Rev transferred over $1 million out to other brands, Pier 1, Dress Barn, Linens and Things, to cover investor obligations. From July to October 2022 alone, $5.9 million in new investor money was used to pay earlier investors. Meanwhile, Tai and Alex were siphoning off cash for themselves. The SEC alleges Lopez misappropriated $12.5 million. Mayer took $3.6 million and together with their cousin, COO Maya Birkenroe, diverted $16.1 million in investor funds for personal use.
In addition, defendants misappropriated approximately $16.1 million in investor funds, which was diverted for defendants Lopez and Maher's personal use.
Who is Maya Birkenroe? On Rev's website, she was listed as President, COO, and Chief Risk Officer. It claimed she had 10 years of experience running multi-million-dollar companies. In reality, as the lawsuit notes, Maya was Tai's cousin, and before Rev, she worked as a substitute preschool teacher, a radio station promoter, and as Tai's personal assistant. No executive experience whatsoever. Even as losses piled up, Lopez and Mayer kept promoting new offerings. In November 2022, they held an investor conference in Las Vegas, claiming everything was on fire. Immediately after, they emailed attendees for fresh investments. But by December the 15th, 2022, Tai finally admitted on a call that Rev and its brands were in financial trouble and unable to make payments. Investors had already gone months without seeing their promised returns. By December the 29th, 2023, Rev's assets were foreclosed and handed to a new entity, Omni Retail Enterprises, formed by the very investors who had been misled. Lopez and Mayer were cut out entirely. The SEC's lawsuit makes it clear Rev operated as a Ponzi scheme. New investor funds propped up old obligations, losses were hidden, and executives enriched themselves. After the collapse of Rev and the investor takeover, Tai Lopez disappeared from the spotlight for a while. His partner Alex Mayer even wiped his social media completely. But then, slowly, Lopez crawled back into feeds, especially on Facebook.
Depending how you do it, but if you know what you're doing. I use this little thing to separate. Actually, let's go this way first. This room I'm turning into it's a sitting room, but I'm gonna put in grand piano. I like to play the piano.
He resurfaced with recycled ads for his old programs, the 67 Steps, SMMA, and then, seeing the new trend, he launched his next pivot, an AI marketing agency course. It was the same pattern, a hot buzzword, a slapped-on product, and Tai at the center promising he could help you cash in. This has always been his playbook. Ride the wave, collect the cash, scrap the evidence when it fails, and move on to the next trend. At his core, Tai Lopez has never been the mentor he sells himself as. He's a grifter, a salesman, a master at convincing you that you're behind, and that only he can help you catch up. And while the SEC now calls his empire a Ponzi scheme, not everyone sees it that way.
Not. Now, what happens here, I hope nothing happens as they go through this. And who knows, sometimes on the way you make enemies and people come after you. I hope this is a story that comes and leaves and they're fine and they continue growing their businesses.
Interesting. Patrick Bet David defending Tai Lopez. But maybe that's not so surprising. After all, Bet David himself built PHP, a company we uncovered in our last video that looked a lot like an MLM. So why is he so quick to downplay Lopez's alleged scam? Maybe because in this world of entrepreneurship, the grifters protect their own. If you want to see exactly how Patrick Bet David fooled everyone, watch this next.